This is Sunday. Welcome to week 3. This is day 2 of branding. So I'm going to give it just a couple of minutes, going to make sure that I get some of you guys invited because this is my favorite week, right? We're talking all about branding. We're talking about your vision. We're talking about the realization of who it is your business is. Realization of that in imagery, in your stance, right? So everything that is going to be you and your business is going to start to manifest itself in your colors, in your design, in your words, in everything that you do. And so this week is the beginning of that. So this is a very exciting week for your business. I'm super excited to be here and to be helping you maneuver through that. So today's topic is logos and colors. And so I posted several things today to help jog you or sort of shake you into realization of what it means to really be branding, right? And what do you need to take into consideration? So give me just a minute. Let me do my thing and get the right people on in the group, and then we'll get started. I only have one desire in life, and that is for Facebook to make it easier to invite people to the live. Other than that, that's like the only thing in the world that I really want Facebook to do. So hopefully you guys are having a great Tuesday. Okay, so I think I've tagged you guys all appropriately. So if you are on, please announce and say hello so I can say hi back to you. All right, so today is all about logos, right? And one of the things I wanted to talk about, we talked a little bit about this yesterday, so I wanted to sort of elaborate on this because this is the time when you're going to need to start to think about how much of the work do you want to do versus when's the right time to bring in a professional. So we'll talk a lot more about that later in the week, but I do want to just sort of bring into focus some of the things that I posted today so that we are all aligned. First and foremost, hindsight's 2020, but one of the things that I certainly will be doing the next time we do this course round is making sure that the objectives for what you all need to be at in the program are super, super clear. And so let me give you, I did a summary on Sunday's post, weekly introduction, but I want to recap that just so that we are all on the same page. So for this week, this is an aggressive week, lots of activity going on, and we are building upon the things that we have already established. We are now in week 3 of the program. You in week 1 should have already identified what your niche is, and you should have identified a training plan associated with that niche. And in my mind, I'm thinking, and so you guys will have to let me know if this is too aggressive or if you are really in the middle of this. In my mind, after week 1, you should have identified what it is that your niche is, what the training opportunities are, and you should have started that training. So you should either be in the middle of that training or almost done with the training, or at least some portion of the trainings that you decided on in your niche from week 1. What I would like to know is if you are watching this in the replay, or if you do come on later and you watch this, is where are you in your training plan, right? Have you enrolled in your classes? Are you well on your way to completion of your training, or at least some of your training associated with your niche, right? because that's going to be super important as we finalize this week and we go into next week, right? Because next week is all about marketing foundations. I'm going to give you a good foundation understanding of what marketing is and what you need to be prepared to do. But we are going to start to really ramp it up in terms of getting people excited about the fact that you've got this launch, you're launching a travel business, right? So you need to know, and you need to start to have some of these buzzwords associated with whatever your niche is, right? So I really want to make sure that you guys are on target with your training plan and execution of that training plan. So if you are not and you need help with that, please reach out to me and let me know, is I want to make sure that your niche is very specific and that you've got a training plan to match it. So that's number one. Number two, objectives for this week is that you should absolutely already have a name for your business defined, right? Because last week we focused on you starting to put together in motion the setup of the business structure for your business, right? So you should have a business name defined. You should know what the name of that is. And if you need some help, again, please reach out. I had one of you all reach out today, and I think, with our brainstorming, we came up with a name for her business based on what her vision is. And so if you need that kind of support, absolutely reach out and we can get her done. But you need to have a name for your business, right? I would like to also see your Facebook business page created, right? I want you to start locking down those brand assets that are yours, which are your social media accounts, right? You should have Facebook business page locked down. You should have an Instagram business page locked down. Twitter. You don't have to use these things. I just want you to acquire them in the name of your business such that no one else is going to do that, right? So you need to have your business name. Whatever your business name is, get all of your social media accounts created in support of that business name. I'm not asking you to use them right now. Just get them locked down, get a username and password locked down on them so that no one else can do that. The other thing that you want to do is you want to make sure that you have a domain. And so I needed to clear that up for someone earlier. So let me just put this out here. What is the difference between a domain and a website, right? So a domain is just the URL, right? So sundaygardner.com is a domain name. I can decide to either have a website pointed to that name or not. And let me tell you, I have dozens of domain names with no websites to them. And I do that because it's an asset, right? I don't want anybody owning sundaygardner.com because that's my name, right? I don't want anybody owning businessjumpoff.com because that's the name of my signature product, right? Nobody owns Sugar Travel Company, right? Because that's the name of my travel agency, right? So I may not have websites hosted with those domain names. I just have the domain name. So when you're building a brand, you want to start to own the brand assets that are associated with that brand. And your name is one of the assets, and it's one of the most powerful assets that you have when you have your name. Can you imagine McDonald's not owning McDonald's.com, right? So think about it like that, right? Could you imagine, Tiffany's not owning Tiffany's.com, right? I mean, that's just not heard of, right? You want to own whatever is the name that you have. And if you find that the brand, so say you come up with a name and you go, and I think I've given this to you guys before. I gave it to you last week, but I'm going to give it to you again. It's leandomainsearch.com. I'm typing that in there so you can see that. leandomainsearch.com. It's a powerful search engine. Not only does it just search to see if a domain is available, so again, just a URL name is available, it gives you multiple derivatives of that name. And it's a great idea generator, right? So I've come up with names just based on using that as a search. So let's say I love the usage of boss in my titles, and because I'm a boss, right? I like the word boss in my titles, right? So when I came up with my title, Marketing Boss, I searched there to see what they had, and I think marketingboss.com was taken. But I was like, I think I did Marketing Boss Pro, like I always wanted, because I wanted to be the professional nomenclature, and I did that search, and I was able to find if it was taken or not, right? So when I immediately found that it wasn't taken, I went and I purchased the domain, right? Now, I don't have a website that's pointed to marketingbosspro.com, but there is a there's a marketingbossacademy.com, which is my online school, right? So it's really just important that you just start to lock down those names. Now that you're building your brand, your name is one of your most important assets. So I just want to make sure that you guys get that, right? Now, your website is the information site that is available against the domain. So you may have a, like sundaygardner.com is a URL. I actually have a website connected to that URL. So if you go to sundaygardner.com, there is a website with information, multiple site pages and that kind of stuff that are available for that. Now, that's a separate cost than a domain. Domains are pretty inexpensive. You could spend anywhere from, depending on who you go through, you can spend anywhere, at least, I've seen domains as cheap as $4.99, upwards of $15, right? So whoever you go through, that is just the can you stop with the noise? That is just the name of the URL. You purchase the URL name, and then you can just put that to the side, right? You don't ever have to put a website to it. Again, you're just preventing people from using it, right? Once you get the URL defined, then you can decide at a later date to host a website against that URL. All right, so website, not necessary now. Domain, get it and get it quickly, right? Once you decide the name. All right, so that's one thing from a brand perspective. So then, yesterday, we talked about your vision, right? What is your vision? We went through the vision document and we talked through what is a vision and what does it look like, and how do you decide it, right? And so I don't know if you guys are having a hard time with that or if you're not. But I think there's one person, I think Tanisha, she posted what her vision was, and I gave her some feedback. And so what I would also like, your objective this week is for you to define a vision. It's not for you to just sort of listen and not act, right? Because if you want to launch and you want to be launching anytime soon, these things that we're going through week over week, you want to be acting on them now. Well, you've got me as a coach to help you coach you through them, right? So let's get her done, right? So if you need help with defining your vision, any part of that vision document and the training that we went through yesterday, please reach out and let me know. But we're looking for, and I want you to know, a vision is not the same thing as a tagline, right? A tagline is short and sweet. You usually put that underneath your logo. And, it's something that sort of is a great complement to your vision, but it's not intended to be long. A vision statement, mission statement can be long. It can have bullets, right? It really speaks to who you are. It speaks to who you service, how you service them, the emotions, and how you deliver what you deliver, and what people get at the conclusion of the delivery of whatever is your superpower is, right? So again, travel is a huge industry. It's a huge topic. We want you to be a little bit more specific about what it is that you're servicing. All right. So at the conclusion of this week, you should have a vision statement, right? So let me recap where we are so far. You should have a name for your business defined. You should have your social media accounts locked down. You should have the domain of the name of your business locked down. You should have your vision statement created, right? And then today, what we talked about is your logo and colors, right? And so I don't necessarily assume that you all are graphic designers, right? I assume that you have some thought, though, about what your logo looks like, right? And let me rephrase that, because when I think of my logo, when I do a name definition and I start a new business or I have a new product, because I actually create logos for every signature product that I do. There's some symbol that represents that signature product. So I'm always creating logos. I've got a business logo and then I've got product logos that support signature products that I do. When I do logos, and I think of the names of my products. So just recently we came up with Business Jump Off. I think we came up with that last year. And so I had a vision in my head of what I wanted that to be representative of. I wanted Business Jump Off to, we kind of played around with, having some lady jump around, and we went through some visions and we went through some iterations, and then we settled with where we are today. But I guess what I'm saying is there's a vision that comes to mind when you think about what the vision of your business is, the name of your business, and what you want that representation to be. That's what I really need you to be thinking through now. Color, same thing. I have a brand that is the Sunday Gardener brand, right? I have a company that is called Be Free Marketing, right? I have products that I teach under as a business coach. So under, the Marketing Boss Academy, there are several signature products that I teach, right? Facebook Ad School is one of them. The Business Jump Off is another one. Ready to Launch is another one. Those are 3 signature products that are underneath Marketing Boss Academy. Each of those have their own logo. Each of those have their own particular goal for the training and the program. I have another training program called underneath Facebook Ad School called No Newbie Left Behind. That's a whole series of Facebook ads training that I do, right? So there's a whole ecosystem to what I do. Now, I'm not saying you need to have all that of an ecosystem, but what you do need to do is, for the umbrella of your travel business, what does that look like for you, right? So let's talk about my ecosystem just for my agency, right? There is Sugar Travel Co., which is the name of my travel agency, and I've just created, last week, we created a travel group underneath that agency. And that travel group is for, it's a commercial travel group that will be comprised of my girlfriends and their friends and their friends' friends. And it will be focused on me arranging prepackaged travel for them and myself, so that they can travel through that. That's going to be underneath the Sugar Agency thing, right? That's my niche, right? I do group cruises, I do group travel, right? So that is a line, right? So we've got a name now for that travel group. We will most likely create a logo for that travel group, but it will be synergistic to the Sugar brand, right? So Girl Boss Travelers is going to be a part of Sugar Agency, right? But we started with the brand. There is a vision for the agency, and that agency has a vision, and it's group travel, right? So group travel, and then we created this sort of spin-off of that, which is focused on commercial, right? And then internal to my organization, I train travel agents, right? So, our team is coming up with a name for that. We'll probably have something there, right? But that's all going to be branded, and that's all going to be underneath the Sugar Agency company, right? Same thing, ecosystem. I'm building an ecosystem. I'm all about empire building in my in my family organization, and that's what I'm doing. I want you to be thinking about that from your perspective too, all right? So at the conclusion of this week, you should have a thought for your logo. You may not have it designed, but you should be able to articulate the feeling and the thoughts about what your logo looks like. You've got something in your head when you think of the name of your business, right? All of us do. And if you don't, then let's brainstorm that, right? What are the things that you want from an emotional perspective when people see that? I wanted my Sugar travel agency to be wavy. I wanted it to be reminiscent of water because I love water, right? Most of my trips will have some sort of water element to it because I love, the beach. That's part of who I am. That's part of a vision of what I do. There's some sort of water element to all of the trips that I plan. All right, so hopefully this makes sense, right? Today, logo colors. Colors are really you, right? Are colors that you like. There is a little trick, and what I will do is I'll do a little mini training on this. If you have a picture that you love and those colors really speak to you and you want that to be a part of your brand, right? I mean, I'm not like a colorist and a color specialist that can tell you that color means this. I mean, I'm sure there's a whole science to color and the meaning of colors, and you should probably stay away from these colors. I don't really know that. I can't speak to that, nor am I an expert in color scientology, right? But what I can tell you is I know what I like, right? And I know when someone sees my brand or my products, I know what I want them to think about when they see it. I either want them to, particularly when we went through the redesign for Sunday Gardener last year, I wanted it to be feminine because my customer base, I want to speak to women, right? I want to service women. That is kind of who my customer is. So I wanted it to be feminine. I wanted it to be light. I wanted it to be sophisticated. And I wanted it to make a statement, right? So I knew that I needed to have a script font in there, but I love the combination of script and block font together. So that's what I chose, right? We went through several variations. I wanted, I knew that, let me say this. I knew that I would be picking up travel, even though we were not focused on travel last year. I knew that travel would come back to the focus this year. I knew that training was a focus for mine last year and that it would continue to be a focus for mine. So when we put together those logos for those different entities, I knew that I wanted to keep that same sort of ebb and flow, right? So I wasn't going to start to introduce some different, completely different look and feel for each of my products. I wanted there to be synergy and consistency so that you could tell that they were all bounded together. Same thing for you, right? I think I was talking to Diana earlier, and she's got another business, and the travel business is a complement to that other business, right? But she wants to service more people. So we talked about how does that name of her business, how should it relate to the existing business that she had, or should it be a separate business, right? Should the look be consistent, or should it be totally two separate looks, right? These are the things that you need to consider when you think of a brand, because many of you do have other businesses that are either synergistic to the travel business or they may be completely different, really up to you. But if you have any trouble with this topic, this is where we need to be having an open dialogue. And my recommendation is don't just ping me offline, because if you're having a problem, someone else is probably having a problem too. So post it in the group, post a question, post a thought, post whatever. Don't be afraid. This is the time to do that. All right. So at the end of this week, you should have a thought for your logo. Let's talk a little bit about a professional versus do-it-yourself. So we talked a little bit about that yesterday, and this is going to be a topic that I'm going to bring up every single day this week, which is, should you do it yourself or should you hire someone? If you know, and the software I was trying to think of yesterday is called Photoshop, right? I just couldn't remember it. Photoshop is a graphic artist tool, right? All graphic artists love MacBooks and they all love Photoshop, right? That is an expensive version of a graphic tool. Poor man's version, entrepreneur's version of Photoshop is Canva. So it's an online graphic tool that allows you to create, you're able to create layers on top of layers. You're able to add words on top of pictures. You're able to lighten pictures. You're able to do a lot of things with Canva and you don't need the expense nor the experience that you do to work with Photoshop. If you are a graphic person and you don't want the expense of Photoshop, there's another open source system called GIMP, GMP. And if you're interested in that and your superpower is graphic art, let me know and I can get you the link. It's a free software, very much like Photoshop without the expense, but it is complicated, right? So if this is not your superpower, I do not recommend you go in and start using GIMP at all, because it's for those who are graphically inclined and they get the software. But So if you need to put together, like you need to do Facebook posts, right? And you need to put together graphics. So you see the graphics that the post, usually every post that I have has some sort of graphic associated with it, right? Something to catch your eye, either it's an image or it's a text graphic. It's branded with the name of our product or the name of our business or whatever it is. So depending on where I'm posting it, that will be whatever it is branded with. But most of the things that I post are product brands. So like inside of this group, it's the Business Jump Off. So you will not see a graphic. 9 times out of 10, you will not see a graphic that does not have the Business Jump Off, start your own travel agency associated with it, right? Because that's the brand for this product, right? That's going to be associated with everything that we do associated with Business Jump Off. Every advertising, every ad I do has that logo on it. Every time I talk about Business Jump Off is in the words, it's in the pictures, it's everywhere, right? So, if you need to create a graphic, so let's say you already have a logo, you get that professionally done, and you need to create a graphic, right, to do Facebook posts or Instagram posts or whatever social media platform you decide to use, right? Canva is a great tool to do that, right? If you need to do like, volume social media post types of graphics, that's fine, right? Canva is your tool, absolutely your tool. But if you need to create, let's say, a new logo that is going to have a transparent background so that you can put that on any color scheme, you want to have it professionally done, right? Like if you don't even know how to do a transparent background, don't waste your time. You can go, I'm going to post where you can go. You can go to Fiverr.com and get a logo. Okay, well, looks like Facebook doesn't like me to post Fiverr. Let's see if I can do it again. Facebook is blocking Fiverr, so I'm not really sure why, but let me make sure that I'm not typing it wrong. Oh, I think I am typing it wrong. So let's try it one more time. HTTP. No, Facebook blocking it. I don't know why it's blocking it. It's not an unsafe site. It's not an unsafe site. So I'm not sure why it's blocking it. So we'll have to see what the deal is on that. But Fiverr.com is a site that you go to and you hire people to do jobs, like graphic artist jobs. I've gotten some amazing logos from graphic artists using Fiverr. And Fiverr stands for $5. Usually they start at $5. I recommend you upgrade usually to buy the package that will allow you to get transparent backgrounds, give you color variations on your logos and that kind of stuff. Invest $20 to get your logo, right? It's worth it. It's worth the effort to get it because you don't want a logo that's on a white background. You want a logo that's not pixelated, meaning when you try to make it larger, it's fuzzy and you can't do all the different things that you're going to ultimately need to do with your logo, right? So invest in, if it's not your superpower, do not spend 5 and 6 hours monkeying around trying to create a logo when you can just outsource that for $20 and get somebody to do it, and they'll give you like 10 or 15 different variations. I'm exaggerating a little bit, but give you multiple variations of that logo and be done with it. And then you can go on with, finishing out your vision statement, right? Or, just sitting through the training of your niche, right? That's a better usage of your time. Right now, as an entrepreneur, you are going to have to make a lot of trade-offs, right? Should I spend time? Should I spend money, right? What is the most effective thing? When you're starting a business, we are often tempted not to spend money because we don't have it. I'm telling you, the $20, don't go to Starbucks a couple of days this week, save the $20, spend it on getting a professionally done logo, right? Look through the portfolio of graphic artists. You want a logo. I'm telling you, you want a transparent background logo. You can do an image logo. You can do a text logo, whatever your heart or your vision in your head tells you to do, you want to do that. Out of that conversation with that graphic artist, they're going to ask you, like, what are your thoughts, right? So that's why I'm asking you to be prepared. What are your thoughts in terms of what the logo needs to look like? What is the feeling? They're also going to ask you what colors, right? And if you've got some thoughts about colors, then you want to give that to them. So if you are on and you haven't announced, let me know. Don't be hiding underneath the online and not tell me who's on so I can talk to you. All right, so that's pretty much all I have for logos. So I'm like, tell me who's on so I can get off the deal. But that's pretty much what I have to say for logos and colors, right? Is right now you should be thinking about what your requirements are so that you can speak to a professional about what you want so that you can get some samples. Unless, of course, you're a graphic artist in your day job, or you're, undercover, your secret desire is to be a graphic artist. I say don't waste your time. Spend $20, get the logo of your dreams, and by golly, be done with it, and spend the time on finishing up your training, your travel training, because you're going to need it. Okay. All right. So, hey, Kiara, I'm here. You're here. So I guess my question is to you. Do you have a name for your business? Do you have a name? Hey, Z, nice to have you. Z, I think you were going back and forth on the name of your business last week. Did you settle on something? Hey, Tanisha. Well, shit, all y'all are here. Did you? All right, Tanisha, I think you told me what the name of your business was. You don't have either yet. Well, Kiara, you better shit or get off the pot. You got some work to do. Come up with a name. You need a name. What's your niche? Like, what's the niche? I forget. Tell me. At some point, I'm going to conclude this training with remembering what y'all's niches are. I know Z's niche is family travel, family and adventure travel. And Tanisha is dream luxury vacations. I'm not sure who she services yet, though. Z, did you settle on a name for the business? Because I know you were going back and forth to play on your name versus the other name. You want to focus on families going to Disney. Well, I wouldn't put Disney in your name because Disney is obviously copywritten. But what are those parks called? What are those parks called? The types of parks that Disney are. What kind of parks are those? What are they called? Are they called adventure parks, or I can't remember the name, the category that Disney falls under. Okay, Z, you're keeping the name. All right, so family. Okay. Tanisha, Jamaica. Okay, so I'm going to stick with Kira, then I'm going to go down the line. All right, so I can't think of the name of the types of parks. Adventure parks, that's what they're called, right? So that should be in your name then, because you absolutely do not want to have the word Disney in the name of because Disney will send a cease and desist order to you if you put the name of their company in your name of your business. But adventure parks, so because if that's what your specialty is, going to be adventure parks. And then, in your tagline, you cannot use the word Disney anywhere in your marketing. Well, let me rephrase that. You can use it in your marketing, but you cannot brand Disney because Disney is already branded and it's copywritten and it's trademarked and it's, whatever. So, but adventure parks, I definitely would do. And then in your marketing language, I would put specializing in Disney travel, and make sure that you use the copyright symbol or whatever, so that people know that it's whatever, it's there. But I would definitely think about putting something with adventure parks in your, family adventure fun, or, park fun, or something like that, so that people know that you specialize in families, and you're going to take them to adventure parks, right? Okay, so Kiara, you got to get on it. Okay, so I'm going to tell you what I told Diane too when we were talking about this earlier, with her, right? There's a couple of exercises that I do when I'm trying to come up with the name. There's two decisions I think you need to initially make, and this is all of you if you are on the fence with the name, is do you use your name, or do you use a name that's representative of what it is that your vision for your business is, or, feeling, or whatever, an adjective, an emotion, or whatever it is that you do, or, whatever. So this is the process that I go through. I think about what it is that we stand for, right? I think about that. And so let me give you kind of the process that I went through to come up with our professional services name, Be Free Marketing. The name of my travel agency is Sunday Gardener. No, it's not Sunday Gardener. It's Sugar, a travel company, and it's a play off of my name. So it's the first two letters of my name. I wrote my name out, and I saw that my name, if I took the letters around, it's spelled sugar. And I like that. I was like, oh, that's really cool. So we have actually a hair extension company called Sugar Hair Extension. And I was like, when I did the travel business, I was like, we're just going to be Sugar Travel, because in my mind, I thought sugar beaches, right? White beaches. And it looks like sugar to me. And so that's sort of the name, right? So it was nothing fancy on the name of Sugar, right? It was a play on my name. But I will tell you that I had a lot of thought on the name of my salon several years ago, and I had a lot of thought on the name of my professional services company. So let me tell you the process that I go through. So for my professional services company, my husband is really good with just throwing out names. I say, I want to do this, but the feeling before we came up with the name is I was going through, I had just finished a contract with a company. And, this whole transition of me coming online has been a personal struggle for me, sort of coming out of my shell. I've always been behind the scenes. I've never been a visual, show my face type of person, right? Unless you just know me and you have the thing, you think. And so as an African-American woman, which I'm Black, right? I'm an African-American woman. I have had this sort of corporate hat that I've worn versus who I am and who my friends know me as. And, I struggled with that when I first started my online business. It's like, do I show the corporate Sunday when I come out and I go live and I talk to people? And that corporate Sunday is very, she's very to the business. She doesn't cuss. She doesn't do this. But the Sunday that everyone who knows me, like people who know me and they have worked with me, they're like, Jesus Christ, you cuss like a sailor, right? And I came up with the name, I think my husband came up with the name Be Free. And I was like, yes, that's exactly what I want. I want to be able to help entrepreneurs be free in their marketing to develop and to show up in their authentic self, right? So that Be Free was sort of me freeing myself, and I want to free others, not having, because most of my clients, they are from corporate backgrounds, and they have had to be, and they are African American, and they have had to operate a certain way, and they have had to be restricted in who they are and how they show up. So I wanted my vision was to free you, right? To free you from that constraint of operating your businesses like white America. Operate your business like who you are, right? Whoever that is, right? And, because I don't believe that there's a Black or a white way, right? Because, Black people will tell me I talk white people will tell me whatever. It doesn't matter. I just want you to be free. That's kind of the vision that I had. So I was really clear about what that looked like on paper. I was really clear, like I had a vision of it looking, I wanted the free to be free, right? That's what I wanted. And so like I get goosebumps because like, I was really, really connected to the vision. I'm still very connected to the vision. And that is how I teach. That is how I show up now. And I'm totally free now when I come online, right? There is no corporate it's Sunday when I come online. It's funny because my mom, she has just recently seen me online and she was like, oh my God, you cuss. And I was like, Mom, that's just like, if I offend people, then I'm sorry, but that's who I am. Like, I no longer want to be bounded by whatever that constraint, because there are going to be people, there's 2 billion people on Facebook every month. We're not talking like every year. We're talking every single month. We're talking unique users on Facebook. There will be somebody who is offended by the fact that I cuss, right? But there's going to be some people who are not offended. And I only want the people who are not offended, right? I only want the people who are not offended. And I only want to attract those people who are not offended by who Sunday is naturally, right? That's the same way I want you to be. That is the same message that I teach other people when they're marketing. Be you, whoever that is. If it's ghetto, if it's ratchet, kind of tone it down. But you're going to attract ghetto ratchet people. And if that's who your market is, then damn it, service those people, because that's what they need, right? I'm being funny. But you know what I'm saying? Like, be you, be free to be you all of the time in your business and whatever. And your brand is the thing that speaks to that. Okay, ladies? All right, so I sort of went off on a tangent, but right, like my whole color scheme was, I knew that I wanted gold and I wanted black and I wanted red for power, right? I was very clear about the vision, right? And I want you guys to start to formulate that too. So let me get back focused, right? All right, so Tanisha, your Jamaica group cruises. All right, so perfect. So your name is Dream. Tell me your name. Is it Dream Vacations? Did you say Dream? I can't remember what you wrote earlier. I have a 0. Like, I'm getting older. Like my memory is useless. I have to write everything down. I can't remember what happened like 5 minutes ago. It's so funny. All right. So Z, you're keeping your name. That's great. Do you have thoughts about your logo? Have you thought about your colors? Have you thought about, that part and what your brand? Have you thought about your vision? Okay, so you guys, if you came on late, you got a lot to watch because I talked about what the objectives for this week is. I posted it in the welcome week message, what the goals are for the week. So I want you guys to really stay on track for what your goals are. Tanisha's Dream Travel. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so when I think of dream, I think of white, I think of blues. I don't know why I think of dreams and blues and whites and cream color. I don't know. What do you think of when you think of dreams, right? And I assume that they're happy dreams and not nightmares, right? So immediately when I think of dreams, I'm like Freddy Krueger dreams. So, again, that's, in my head, I'm a little crazy. You have a logo. I'd love to see it. Post it to the group. We need to be sharing. Do you have a page? Like, do you have your, okay, because that's one of the other goals is that you guys should have posted your, you don't have to post your page. I mean, I would love to like you guys' pages. I think we should support each other. We've been together. We will have been together 4 weeks by the conclusion of this program. So, I want to support you. I don't intend to specialize in what you specialize. There's enough business, again, 2 billion people on Facebook alone. That's just one platform. We're not even talking about the other platforms. I'm talking 2 billion people on Facebook every single month on the platform. And that number grows, provided Zuckerberg doesn't screw it up and Congress shuts the platform down. It's, provided it's still there. I mean, to me, this is my platform. Like I'm, at some point I'm going to really dive into Instagram and all the other ones, but okay. So post your pages. I posted a post last week about setting your link and I didn't get a lot of links. So I assumed you guys didn't have a page. So post your page so we can like your page. Yeah, I would hope that it doesn't get shut down. Like, it was funny. Like, I don't know if you guys watched any of the Zuckerberg hearings last week that Congress, and like, they're like, okay, what is this that you do? Like, how do you make money? And he's like, through advertising. Like, it was just hilarious to me. But post your pages, post your logos. I want to see your brands. I want to see it. We need to start supporting each other. This is right. What was I going to say? This is the time where you guys need to start getting used to showcasing who you are, because Z took advantage of a challenge that I had for you guys, I think the first week, and I know that she got results. And I just told her, I told you guys in a post, I said, I challenge you guys to post, and I gave you the text to post. And the spirit of the post was, hey, I am, specializing in fill in the blank, whatever your travel niche is. And, I'm going to be putting together some packages. Let me know what your email address is. And Z, how many emails did you get out of that post? Right? These are her prospective customers. She told them exactly what it is that she's going to be doing. She told them that she's getting ready to release products. And she said, if you want to get on my list, get on my list. And she got emails, right? We're going to do another exercise like that this week. Next week, we're going to be ramping it up. And if you join me in level 2, we are going to be on steroids ramping it up, right? I do not believe in using your personal page to do 100% of your advertising. I don't believe that. I am not a proponent of that. You will have many people who, when you go on their personal page, that's all you see is their entrepreneur businesses, and they do that. That is a strategy, and it does work. But that is not the strategy that I teach. What I am looking for you to do, though, on your business page, on your personal page, is start to let those people know without being invasive that you are getting ready to offer services that they may be interested in. You're not trying to ram it down their throat. You're not trying to evasively invite them to pages that they didn't ask to be invited to. You're just letting them know. And if they want to get in, here's a way, a safe and non-invasive way for them to get on your list, right? That's what we're going to be doing on the personal pages. I am a huge proponent of utilizing the tools that we have before us. Facebook advertising is an amazing tool. You all met me through Facebook ad. I ran an ad, I boosted something, I ran an ad, and you met me through a Facebook ad. I didn't know any one of you ladies prior to you clicking on an ad, right? So you cannot tell me it doesn't work, because each of you are here because of a Facebook ad that I ran. So I am a big proponent of advertising and marketing, right? There's a smart way to do it that isn't going to break your bank, and it's going to be very surgical in the way that you find strangers for your ads. But you've got a product that people love, right? So your friends and family are going to love that, right? So you want to let them know that you're available to do that. But I don't want you to be evasive about it. I don't want you to be throwing it on their throat. I don't want you to be inviting them to your pages without their permission. I don't want you to be doing any of that stuff, right? So that's what we're going to be very clear about that when we go into next week about the marketing. All right, so Tanisha's Dream Travel. Tanisha, you still have to work on a vision. I'd like to see the link to your business page so I can like it. Z, same thing. And I would love to see your logo, Z. You guys showcase your stuff. Let us know who you are. You guys need to be strutting your stuff now. Let me see your logos. Let me see your business pages. Let's like each other's businesses, right? We are quickly not becoming the minority, but women businesses are still the minority in terms of entrepreneurs, right? So we should be supporting each other. And I don't care if we're in the same industry. Each of you guys are doing your own niche, right? And there's enough business to go around. So support is my biggest proponent. Support each other as much and as often as you can, right? I am not interested in adventure parks, but if I ever get a customer who is interested in adventure parks, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go on my team roster and I'm going to see if there's anyone that specializes in that. And if the answer is no, then I'm going to go to my extended network, which is you guys. And then I'm going to kick that business to you, right? So, the same thing. I am not going to try and to become a specialty in everything. I don't have the time. I got 5 lines of businesses just in my niche I'm trying to kick off, right? Same thing for you. There's enough business to go around, so we should support each other. All right, I'm done with that soapbox. Ladies, if you don't have any questions, if you don't have any comments or anything, I'm going to go, and I'm going to talk to you guys tomorrow. But post your stuff. Let me see your stuff. Let's see each other's stuff. So let's support, okay? So Z, I'd love to see your logo. I'd love to see your the name that you've and as I am sure the other ladies in the group would love to see the name of your business, what you settled on, and the logo to support that. Tanisha, love the name. Let's talk about what the vision is. Let's dig a little bit deeper for your vision, and let's see if you've got some thoughts around your logo. All right. I don't remember what tomorrow's topic is. Oh, tomorrow I think we're going to talk about hiring a professional. So I'm going to talk to you about the things that you should be talking to. So you may be scared to hire a professional, but I'm going to talk to you about how do you do that. and get the right professional, right? So how do you talk about requirements? How do you ascertain if they're the right person, if they are not the right person? So either that's tomorrow or that's the next day. And if it's not tomorrow, then tomorrow's topic is do-it-yourself solutions in the branding space. So I'm gonna talk about Canva. I'm gonna talk about some other solutions, and we're gonna walk through some of those solutions and my recommendations for those. All right, are you ladies good? All right, because if you are, we will talk soon. All right, say good night. You guys have a good night, and we'll talk soon. Bye.